Good afternoon. This is an introduction lesson on the Big 6 research model. Brought to you by me, your librarian, Miss Frodine. Today, I will introduce a useful tool for researching and gathering information for projects called the Big 6. By the end of this intro, you should have somewhat of an idea of what the Big 6 is and be thinking of how it can help you. Before I get into what the Big 6 is, I will tell you why teachers, students, and librarians use it, because it goes hand in hand with not just one, but multiple teaching standards. Teaching standards are guidelines put together by the state to help teachers and librarians know what each grade level needs to be learning. For example, the state of Texas has their own set of academic standards known as the TEKS. TEKS 110.4 tells us that this focuses on research and inquiry and gives instructions of what students need to be able to do to show mastery of the skill. Under this TEK, students need to be able to create questions on a topic for research, develop and follow a research plan with teacher assistance, gather credible material to use as references from a variety of sources such as books, websites, and paper or online journals, for example. Students also need to be able to show understanding of the information that they gathered by putting the information together in a paper or presentation. Finally, students should be able to correctly cite the sources they used and know the difference between paraphrasing and plagiarism. Next, we have the Common Core Standard. The Common Core Standard is similar to the TEK, but on a much broader scale. It does not break down the expectations of students to master the content. This Common Core Standard shows the expectation of what students need to learn at each grade level, such as draw evidence from literary or informational texts to support analysis, reflection, and research. The ISTE standards are different because they have standards for both teachers and students. This example from the student standard is in a strand called the Knowledge Constructor. It also discusses the importance for students to not only have a research strategy, but an effective one. The AASL standard here states that students will make critical choices about information sources to use, meaning that students take time to think about the information they decide to use for their paper or project and not try to use everything just because it pertains to the topic. By now, you're probably thinking, Miss Frodine, why should we use the Big 6? What makes it so great? And more importantly, what is the Big 6? The Big 6 is a multi-step research model that helps students organize their thoughts and research for projects and papers. It helps students break down a large, overwhelming assignment into smaller, more manageable pieces. By using the Big 6, you will be able to take your ideas of what you want to research, find meaningful ways of finding that information, and turning it into a successful piece you can be proud of. In just a few moments, you will each go to a computer to take a pre-assessment to see what you think you know about the Big 6 and how it can be useful to you. Your screen will show this image. You will answer each question, then hit Submit. Before your pre-assessment, take a moment here to reflect on the information you have just received. Why do you think it's called the Big 6? When thinking back to the standards you saw, what do they all have in common? They all talk about smart, effective researching. Continue to think of what it means to research smart and effectively and how the Big 6 can help.